welcome to the prelim round draw for Wiffle Wars V this Saturday in York, Pennsylvania. This is the third MAW tournament of the 2022 season. 13 teams, basically all of the quote-unquote regular teams so far here. In MAW 2022 will be out. We'll play games at both Shy Wiffle Ballpark and the Dallas Town Satellites, as per usual for recent York tournaments. The one sort of difference this time is there will be teams that will travel back and forth, or not back and forth, but will play some of their games at one of the sites and some at the other site. We tried to get as many teams as possible, either just completely at Shy Wiffle Ballpark or mainly there. There is going to be one team that's going to play all their games at Dallas Town, but again, everyone's played at Dallas Town. It's still a real good facility. But everyone else, and a few teams will play all their games at Shy, but then other guys will just travel back and forth, or start at one place and end up at the other place. So it's going to be Matrix style like usual. The other big difference is it's 4 games in the prelim instead of 3, instead of the usual 3. That's because of the odd number of teams. We've got to do a 4th game. All 4-0 and 3-1 teams will automatically, without a doubt, will make it to the playoff round. There may be some 2-2 teams. We'll show this to you real quickly here. We won't go through all of this, but we sort of broke down every single possible scenario, and this will be in the captain's email when it gets sent out. Basically, just depending on the number of 4-0 and 3-1 teams, the playoffs will take all different forms. The sort of guiding principle of all of this is we wanted to, if there's like 2 4-0 teams, we don't want one 4-0 team to get a bye and another one not to. So in order to facilitate that in almost every situation, more teams will be added so they either both get byes or so none of them get byes. So it's so it's even. So if you go 4-0, you know that you're going to be on the same playing field as another team that went 4-0. Any 2-2 teams. And that's the case except for just a few scenarios, but it all kind of makes sense. Those scenarios are unlikely to happen anyway, but we'll have all of that listed out as usual on both fields, so you can take a look at that as the tournament progresses. 2-2 teams won't get a playing game. All of that will just be done. To decide the 2-2 teams that advance, that'll all be done on tiebreakers. The tiebreakers are the usual thing, overall record. So if a couple teams are 2-2, they're obviously tied on overall record. Then we go to points. Which is 2 points for a win, 1 point for an extra innings loss with the bases loaded, and 0 points for a loss. Then it is head to head. If there's that's only applicable if there's 2 teams, then runs allowed, and run diff, and then a coin flip if we're still tied after that. Prelim games will be 5 innings. We'll go straight to extras because again, there's an extra game. There's a 4th game for all prelim teams. So we're trying to get those done a little bit. In a more manageable way. So you go straight to extras in 5 innings. You go straight to bases loaded in the 6th inning. And again, if you lose with the bases, if you go to 6th inning tied, you lose on bases loaded, you still get a point, and that'll be really, really big, I think, for some potentially for some 2-2 teams. All right, so let's get to the draw here. Let me show the matrix real quick before we start. Let's get a quick look. That's kind of how it breaks down. And again, some teams will be playing some of their games at Shy Wiffle Ballpark, some of them will be playing at Dallas Town, and then some at Dallas Town, and that's just kind of how this breaks out. So we'll do the draw and then come back to this, fill this in as we go along, and come back to it at the end to see how everything shook out. All right. So team number 1 is Earl, who enters this tournament in a tie for 2nd place in the point standings, just a half a point behind Voodoo. Team number 2 are the Risers. So that will be Earl Risers will play game 1 against each other. Team number 3 is Dinos. Team number 4, the Great Lakes Legion. Fifth team is the Stompers. Team number 6 are the York Yaks. The 7th team are the New York Dragons. Team number 8, the Long Balls. Our 9th team is the Goon Squad. Team number 10 is Voodoo. Team 11, the Ridley Park Magic. It's our final 2 here. It's going to be Juggernauts or Maryland Horsemen. It is the Juggernauts, which means the Maryland Horsemen will be team number 13. All right, so to show what all of that means, remove. Here are the matchups. So Earl has Risers, Dragons, Goon Squad, Great Lakes Legion. The Risers have Earl, Yaks, Great Lakes, Long Balls. Dinos have Great Lakes, Stompers, Yaks, and Goon Squad. Great Lakes has Dinos, Long Balls, Risers, Earl. I'm not going to read all these. You can kind of see them. But we'll send all of this out. We'll put this up and we'll send all this information out in the captain's email. We'll also attach that list showing you all the different possible playoff scenarios. But again, just the whole idea behind the playoff scenarios is 3-1, 4-0, just automatically get in to make the early games mean something, to make those 4-0 teams either get a benefit or at least not have one 4-0 team get a benefit, another one not. We'll add in 2-2 teams as necessary in order to sort of make all of that work. So 2-2, you've got a shot, particularly if you go 2-2 and you lose a game or two in extra innings with bases loaded. That certainly helps your shot, but it's all gonna depend on how things shake out. So again, like every MAW tournament, win more games than you lose, and you're automatically good. If you don't, you're gonna need some help. So that captain's email, I think, will either come out tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll put in as much information as we can. Try to let everyone know. If not in the original captain's email, soon after, we'll let everyone know where they're starting the day at, which site they're starting the day at. Games will start at 8 a.m. In both locations. So if you have any questions, as always, contact Tim. He can help point you in the right direction. And we look forward to seeing everyone